Hello Poppets and welcome to the Grianaig Creations podcast. This is not a typical podcast episode. I'm going to put this up as a bit of an extra. I decided I was going to show off the little bags I've made up to work on throughout the coming months, year and years. So, to kind of recap what I am talking about, I decided that I really kind of wanted to get one step ahead, not in a sense of planning and organisation, but in the sense that when I finish a project, I'm normally absolutely floored by this horrific, overwhelming feeling as to what I'm going to work on next. I have a huge amount of patterns that I already have, and then there are amazing patterns getting released left, right and centre throughout the year. And then I also have this amazing yarn stash that has no organisation to it whatsoever. I've got no record of what I have and what I don't have. And so I just get absolutely floored by this sense of overwhelm that I end up just knitting more vanilla socks. There's nothing wrong with knitting vanilla socks, do not take that in a negative way. It's just, I made 16 pairs for myself last year, and I really don't think I need to make any more for myself this year. So any vanilla socks I make this year are purely going to be for other people, unless I really particularly want the yarn. But I just don't want to have another big stack of vanilla socks and not much else to show at the end of the year. So what I decided to do was go through my patterns on one day, whether that was printing them off from my laptop or pulling them out of my already printed out library, flicking through some magazines I've kept over the years, that kind of thing. And then the next day I pulled out all my yarn and I paired them up to the pattern. So now's the time I'm going to show them off. I'm just going to preface this by saying I didn't get all the nail polish off my fingers, so some of my fingers are going to look a bit weird. Or my fingernails. So, these are in no particular order whatsoever. It's just how I'm pulling them out of the box I've got them stored in. So, there's two projects currently in this bag because I couldn't find another bag big enough, and I'm very limited on storage at the moment, so I had to squeeze it all into one box. So, first up is this pretty amazingly sturdy tote bag that I got at one of the Edinburgh Yarn Festivals. This tote bag is from Isolde. I bought stuff from her booth 2 or 3 years ago now. So, it says wool and books. I'm just going to get a wee bit comfier. There we go. So like I said, there's currently 2 projects in this bag, so I'm going to be showing you 2. So, the first one is the Miette cardigan, and this is by Andy Satterland. I'm going to preface this by saying that this pattern has been retired. This was in my library on Ravelry, and therefore I had saved it down onto my desktop or one of my external hard drives. And I think I know why it was retired. There's 3 sizes to it. It is really not size inclusive at all. The biggest size it goes to is a 42 inch bust, and that's with, it's meant to have 2 inches negative ease. So I'm going to hope that by going up a needle size, it might fit me. It might not, in which case I'll see if I can gift it to somebody. But this is the Miette sweater cardigan, and I am going to be knitting this out of Knit Picks in the wool of the Andes, and it's in a really beautiful heathered purple, which you can't really see because it is still in its cellophane, and I really don't want to open it up right yet. So if I do a close up there, you might be able to see it because there's a hole in the package. So that's one of the patterns and projects. The next one is the As If Tea, and that is by Knit and Crochet, which is Shay Johnson. I hope. Yeah, it's so difficult sometimes holding stuff up to the camera. So that's the As If tee, and I'm going to be making it out of Woolly 5 Natural Knitting, which is merino wool, in this gorgeous mustard colour. And then I also have some Wendy Air in this really gorgeous kind of light grey cream. I've never used this before, but it certainly feels softer than, I know the name of this, my Love Note sweater, which was with Rowan Kids Silk Haze. So it's very, very fluffy. You can see the halo on that yarn. It feels nice and soft. I'm hoping I don't have any reactions to it. Okay, again, there's absolutely no order to these. Some of them don't have a pattern, some of them are just put in here with the idea of what I want to make. So next up, in a bag that I got from my Mama Knits, which is my Japanese knot bag. It's a reversible bag and it's got Star Wars fabric. Actually, I think I'm going to turn it out for a wee while. I haven't used that side before. And in this bag is just yarn, but I know exactly what I want to make with this. So this is Sirdar Hawthorn Tweed, and they're 50 gram balls. It's, what's the content? 50% merino, 50% nylon. And I've got it in this really gorgeous, again, another heathered purple. Oh, that's not coming up very well. And this really gorgeous heathered white as well, and well, tweedy purple and tweedy cream. What these are going to be for is I have been requested to make an ombre baby hat, and it was to ombre from purple to cream or white. So that's going to be for my bestie's new baby girl, who will be here end of April, start of May. If I'm remembering correctly. So there's no pattern for this. I'm just going to find the rough sizes for a baby hat and then work on an ombre myself. In another Star Wars bag, this is one I've made. I don't know what's in these bags anymore. I've got a rough idea for some of them, but other ones I've not got a clue. So looking at the yarn, this is going to be for the Summer Court Tank. And I'm right. This is the Summer Court Tank, which is by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horror Yarns. The picture's really bad because of my printer. Let's see if we've got a better picture. My printer just was not playing ball when I was printing. No, I don't really have any better photos, so it's a tank and then there's some lace down the bottom of the garment. And it just looks really, really gorgeous. And with this I am using Flail Snail, which is a Corner of Craft colourway. I'm being conscious to put everything back in the bag so that I don't have to then kind of match them back up. Okay, so this is the Golden Rays, if I remember the page, it's like page 40 or something. No, okay, wrong about the page number. This is the Golden Rays Kibble 60 by my lovely friend Pip. Isn't that stunning? In the yarn that Pip used, it is Rowan felted tweed, and you need 1 or 2 balls in the alabaster and 1 ball in the turquoise. So that's a DK weight yarn, and it's 175 metres per 50 grams. So I decided that I didn't have any Rowan felted tweed, but I did have Ulysses. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. I've got it in this kind of dirty mustard. It's quite a dark mustard. And this gorgeous, gorgeous, pure white. And what I'm going to do is, the mustard is going to be the main colour. And then the white will be my contrast. And I just thought that's going to look really, really good. I have some other Ulysses yarn in different colours, so I think I have a turquoise and either a purple or a pink, and I've got another ball of yellow. So depending how I like this knit and if I gift it or whatever, there could be a couple on the horizon. And I know that Pip has also now created a hat and some mittens in the same design. I haven't bought those yet because every time I thought I had the money to do so, I just didn't. So I'm hoping to be able to support her and buy the whole thing. Because it's £10 for all 3 things. The kibble, the hat and the mittens, which is really, really good price. So I'm hoping to be able to buy all 3 of them soon. Because I'm technically on a spending ban this year. Or a no spend year. So I can't close this bag because of the magazine. Another reason I kind of want to buy the pattern. Okay, my phone lit up. That's fine. Next up, this is the Flax Light. So I didn't print off the front page of the picture because that was going to be a lot of ink for my printer to handle. But if you are aware of Tin Can Knits and you're aware of the flax, you might then also be aware of the Flax Light. So the Flax Light is made in fingering weight yarn, and I decided that I was going to knit it in some of my own hand dyed in this amazing rust colour. I'm realising I should have put my ring light on, but I didn't, and now we are suffering the consequences of not particularly good colour. That's good enough. This is in my Knitty City bag that I got in New York in February. I quite love this bag. A lot of what I've got hasn't been caked up at the moment, and it's all been left in hanks, and that's how it's going to remain until I decide to actually make the project. Okay, so the next one I had a bit of a I was so annoyed at myself because I bought a kit from Maddie Harvey. She'd done an update for one of the online festivals this year, and she had decided to kit up some of her patterns, and one of them was the soft-hearted hat. And I knew I had bought it with the pattern. I knew it had arrived with the pattern because I have a photo of it because I put it on Instagram. But when I went to pick out my patterns in my yarn, could I find the pattern? Pretty much turned this room upside down and still couldn't find it. I was so annoyed at myself, and I had the yarn, hence the crinkling. Could I find the pattern? And then one day I moved a unit and it fell on the floor. So this is the soft-hearted hat, and it's really, really beautiful, and the picture here is in the colours I have, so it's grey and yellow, so it's going to be Grello, and I can't wait to make this. I wanted to cast on the minute it arrived when I got it, and because of the fact that I lost the pattern, maybe I should have. But I found the pattern, it's back in my pile, this will be cast on at some point. Okay, what we got here? In my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, why was that so hard? Okay, so looking at the yarn, this one is the Mount Pleasant Tea by Pip and Pin. Some of them I remember, some of them I have no clue. So I wanted to cast this on for the I Am Worth It Mal, which I will be drawing prizes in another video. I wanted to cast this on as part of the I Am Worth It Mal, but I don't know what stopped me. I really, really don't. And I still really want to make it. I really want to have this for summer. I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful, and I think it's just going to be really stunning in this yarn. This is Lovebug's Yarns in the La Catrina colourway, and oh, isn't that just stunning? So there's purples, there's pinks, there's a bit of yellow, a bit of neon green, darker green, blue, a little bit of black, wee bit of turquoise, some very, very pale, almost undyed yarn, but I think you could really just say it's actually extremely pale pink. And it's just such a stunning colour, and I'm so glad I got two of them. I normally only buy one skein of yarn. I'm always a single skeener, but something just made me buy two, and I'm so glad I did it because I can make it in two apparently. We'll see. I have a rather round belly, so I might have to put a mini or something in for like a wee bit of contrast on the cuffs and stuff. Cannot wait to make this. Okay, so this one is the Crocodile Stitch Baby Booties, and this is by Bonita Patterns. I got this pattern several years ago. We're talking about 6 or 7 years ago I bought this pattern, and I've made several pairs in the past. I certainly haven't made any in the last 6 years. And these are going to be for the baby to be for my bestie. My bestie's baby to be. That's a lot of bees. I have some yarn set aside for this, and I still need to talk to Kirsty because she's not overly keen on Duck Egg Blue. She doesn't care for, she's not one of those people that baby girls must wear pink, boys must wear blue. But I know she's also more of a kind of, hey, how about red and orange? So I have a yellow, which is really gorgeous. This is the Regia's, My First Regia, or Regia. But I also have these, because these are going to go in a blanket at some point. So she's not a huge fan of the Duck Egg Blue. She doesn't care if a baby girl wears blue. But I think I would rather find some like red or orange. I don't think I have any. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely going to make a pair out of this yellow. I'm actually going to leave this bag out once I've cleared up because I really want to start making some of the baby stuff. And this is being held in my Kelpies bag. Scott and I went to go visit the Kelpies, and you'll also see my IVKN pin and another Kelpies pin as well. Scott and I went to go visit the Kelpies 3 years ago, and I had never been, I'd never gone to see them, and I took my knitting And then we went into the shop and I seen this bag. I was like, oh, it makes such a good knitting bag. And they were like, oh, it's a cosmetics bag. I was like, no, it's not. It's a knitting bag. So this is my Kelpies bag. So when you go to visit the Kelpies, it's just the heads. So someone's imagined that actually underground is the rest of the horses. It's really, really beautiful. It's a metal, I think, it looks metal, structure of the horse heads, and they've got little cutouts all over them, and there's lights on the inside and they light up, and they're really, really stunning. Okay, so this is a small bag, so this is going to just be yarn, and it is some Grundle hot socks. So this is essentially like our Regia Perfect. I managed to get this through somebody on Facebook who was selling stock. We think, unfortunately, her shop had gone into administration or had to close for whatever reason, and she was selling a lot of her stock, so I bought a fair bit from her. So this is kind of like our Regia Perfect in the sense that we have that green yarn that indicates where you should start so you get a matching pair of socks. Because I know what I said about not wanting to always do vanilla socks, but sometimes that's what I need. I need to not have anything complicated. I need to not have lace or cables or brioche. Sometimes I just need stockinette. Which is also why there's quite a few jumper projects, like garment projects in here. Oh, my favourite bag. It's Baby Yoda! This is a Layla Styles bag. It's my first ever Layla Styles bag, and I'm afraid to say it's probably going to be my last. Nothing to do with the maker. I love her stuff. Very, very sturdy. It's just I got whacked with customs for this and I had to collect it. And given the, you know, what Gemma says, you know, pandemic, I don't really want to be going out to the post office to have to collect something. I would rather it got delivered with no issues and no customs charges. So I love her stuff. If I ever go back to the States, I'm probably going to order some stuff and get it shipped to a friend's house, and then see if I can maybe collect it depending on where in the States I am going. But I love this bag. I love her projects, and I wish she lived in the UK because I would be buying these left, right and centre. So when I state it's my last one, it's got nothing to do with the maker. Her stuff is fantastic, very good quality, extremely good quality. And it came with this really cute tassel. So, what's in here? Not going to go into too much about this one. You all know my feelings on this designer, but I am doing the Novelli. It's one I have wanted to do for a long time. I've had the yarn for a long time, and I bought it a long time ago before she pissed me off. So, I've got some more Love Bugs yarns, and I love this colourway as much as I do the last one. I knew if I had knit the Mount Pleasant tee in this yarn, I probably wouldn't wear it as much for some reason, and so that's why I chose the La Catrina colourway. But I really love this yarn. This is the Unicorn Mane colourway. Oh, how beautiful is that? There's a lot of pale pastel tones in here. There is extremely pale green and blue and purple, a bit of pink as well, and then there's some richer colours, like a really, really rich emerald green. Not as rich purple. The purple is fairly, I don't want to say muted, that's the wrong way to explain that, but it's not as deep and rich of a colour. So up here, you can see here, this is like the darkest section here, and it's really gorgeous, jewel, rich green, the bit of blue in it as well. And oh, it's just such beautiful yarn, like really, really beautiful yarn. Deanna just knocks them out of the park. Her dyeing is delicious. And then I am pairing this with some Black Drops Fable, and I don't know why I bought these. I think it's because it's got this spool of nylon in the centre, and I thought it'd be really, really good for socks. But I got some Lang Yawol in this really beautiful, deep, rich purple. Oh, I've got to sneeze. Sometimes when there's multiple skeins, you gotta get it all back in the bag. It's a bit of a farce. Okay, any regular viewers will know what I'm about to say, but my timer is getting close to the point where my camera stops, so I am going to hit the button to stop it myself, and then we're going to be straight back in a blink of an eye. And just like that. Had I not said anything, I possibly could have done it transitionally where you wouldn't have noticed a thing. I'm not that good. Okay, so this is my Knit Run Dig bag. This is what I got at the second ever Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I love this bag. Who doesn't love foxes with a monocle or glasses and a fedora and wearing waistcoats? Or a tie. Okay, so just looking at the yarn alone, this is going to be for the Angel Face Turban by the Poison Girls. This is something I have attempted to make on about 2, if not 3 occasions, and always forgot to do, what part of it is it they call? It's part of the design element, so it sits really good in the back of your head. But what's the word they use? Pleat row. I always forgot to put the pleats in. Every time. So this is the Angel Face Turban by Poison Girls. Or is it Poison Girl? Poison Girls. But the designer is Amy Apple. So hopefully 3rd or 4th time is the charm. Oh, I really should show off the yarn. It is, oh, I knew this. I've lost the tag. Lay Family Yarns, Eden Cottage. It's either Lay Family Yarns or Eden Cottage. I don't know. I've lost the tag and I got this as part of a swap. Oh gosh. I think it was Aileen that I got this from. She didn't swap it with me. We done a swap at one of my Glasgow Crafter meetups, and everyone just brought a skein and put it on the table. And I think this is the one I picked as part of my swap. And I think it came from Aileen. I could be wrong. It might have been Sia. Oh, I just don't know. But it's gorgeous, and it was a dyer I had never ever used before. So kind of gutted, I can't remember who it is now. Going by the crinkling, this is my other kit from Maddie Harvey. Oh, I think I got something in my eye. So this kit I got as part of an online knitting retreat I attended, and it is the Rose Thorn Knits. Aren't they beautiful? And they use a Jameson and Smith Aran worsted weight. which will be the first time I've ever used their iron weight. And I got it in the colours that the pattern's designed in, so I got it in a really gorgeous burgundy and cream. I'm not going to take them out of the bag, there's just too much crinkling and I can't be bothered trying to shove them back in. And that's being held in one of my bags. It's a winter themed bag because I'm probably not going to cast these on until October next year, depending on how I get through all of this. This is a Jodie Brown's bag, or Mrs. Brown's bag. It's Jodie, isn't it? I don't know. I bought it ages ago. Oh, it's ironic I'm wearing the socks I made in this pattern. So, for anyone that has previously watched my podcast, I made the Rainbow Connection socks by Kay Litton. I'm wearing them today, and I still have tons of yarn left over from when I made those socks. So, when she brought out the Rainbow Connection mitts, I decided what better than to make them in the remaining yarn. I'd probably still have a ton of yarn left over, to be perfectly honest. But this is the pattern. And they're just really beautiful. It's the exact same stitch pattern that's on the front of the socks. And then how it also looks on the back of the socks. I hope that was in the frame. So, to remind some of you what yarn I am talking to, because I am not lifting my feet up. It is this gorgeous yarn from Laughing Yaffle. It's a self-striping yarn. And then also some leftover covered in cat hair Rico 4-ply black. Don't look too closely because it really is covered in cat hair. Going to show off one of my pins here. That is the Tipsy Knits podcast pin. So shout out to them if anyone wants to go check them out. They are an audio podcast. I will put their details down below for you. Because you can't find them on YouTube, but it's just obviously the audio recording. I listen to them through Apple Podcast or podcast app on my Apple phone. Okay, not many more to go, guys, I promise. Technically 7. So in my Adipoise bag, this is one of mine. Adipoise is from Doctor Who and they're just so stinking cute. Terrifying because of, you know, if you actually watch the episode, slightly terrifying, but cute nonetheless. Okay, I'm possibly going to pronounce this wrong and I apologise now, but this is the Millet mittens by Yzoda. Millet is stranded colourwork mittens with fold-over cuffs featuring stitch patterns inspired by colourwork traditions of Norway, Estonia and Latvia. Ribbing is worked on the inside of the cuff for a snug fit that will keep cold winds or snow out. The thumbs are worked using a method traditionally found on sailboom mittens from Norway. A relatively small gusset is worked and similar numbers of stitches are put on hold and cast on to bridge the gap before continuing the hand. The tops are completed with rounded shaping in a star or snowflake design inspired by the tops of Fair Isle tams. A miniature version is worked on the thumb. The shaping means that the only real difference in the hands is the way the patterns line up. If you are in a hurry, they'll be perfectly comfortable in the wrong hand. The repetitive lace pattern used for the majority of the mitten is easy to keep track of without paying attention to the chart, so they work up relatively quickly. I bought this pattern the same time I got the tote bag, and I bought I bought the yarn it called for, so the Fino Garn yarn. Is it Fino or Fino Garn? Rama Fino Garn, which is a heavy fingering or a sport weight wool. I bought that yarn at the exact same time I bought this pattern, but I'm not using that yarn. I've decided to use up some Jamieson and Smith. I just realised the frame is completely different this time around. Excuse me, we're just going to do a close-up. Too close. Okay, so I've got this gorgeous pillar box red. It's not black, it's also extremely heathered. Oh, that's just not coming up. And then some white. So yeah, I think they're going to look really, really good. I wish I did have a mustard in this though. But we'll see how we get on. This is in one of my bags. This is the Muppets with a gorgeous polka dot inside. And this is a single skein of yarn. It is one of my lovely friend Rosie's self-striping, and this is the self-striping of Fred and George's Fireworks. I have loved her Fred and George's Fireworks colourway, and I have several skeins of it. But when she brought out the self-striping, I just knew I had to have it. So it's a wee 50 grammer. So I'm going to have to find a contrast 20 gram mini. These will be for me. There's no way these are going to someone else. Not a chance. Oh, I can't wait for this one. Say hello to Harold Fatmouse. This is a pattern by Wee County Yarns, and I'm actually going to be using yarn I got from Wee County Yarns with a leftover of Jamieson and Smith. So I love these wee mini balls from Wee County Yarns, and I have several because I ended up getting an advent calendar from them. So I have at least over 25, and then I've got several packets I've bought over the years as well. So this is my yarn choice. So I've got, I really don't know how to explain this one. The shade is Yugi Pearl. The writing's kind of smudged and it's not the best handwriting. It is super soft lamb's wool. This one is Lush and is Unique Shetland. This one has the name cut off, so it's Water something, and it is Unique Shetland. Cream LW Cash, lamb's wool and cashmere. And then some leftover Jamieson and Smith. So I will be casting him on because he is just so cute. If anyone wants to join me in knitting this year, he is a free pattern. So let me know in the comments down below if this is something you would want to work on, and we can maybe do a knit along. I know my friend Deborah wants to cast him on as well because I sent her the pattern for him, and she just loves him. So maybe if anyone else wants to join us, we can make that this year. Okay, technically only 2 more in the box, but I have 2 that I have started that I'm going to show off as well. So I think these ones are just yarn for vanilla socks. So in, again, another one of my bags, Harry Potter, with some musical notes. I have a 50 grammer from Stripey Cat yarns. This is a one of a kind. It's a seconds. I think this was meant to be one of her Harry Potter colourways. I'm holding it back because it gets the light a bit better. But I think this was meant to be one of her Harry Potter colourways that maybe just didn't quite get to the colours she wanted. But I'm really happy with it because I am a Gryffindor, and so I've got the gold for Gryffindor, and I will make these for me. And in a little cute little drawstring from Crochet Ellen, Mrs. Lamb's Yarns, I have another Stripey Cat yarns. This is in her Nebula colourway, and I had wanted this one for forever. And it's just tons of neons, and even though I've said I'm not going to knit many pairs of yarn for myself, this is going to be one for me. How cute is this bag? So this is Crochet Ellen. I will link her below. She does amazing project bags. She also does fantastic yarn if you're looking. Okay, so I'm going to fall off the bed. Technically I've got two more to show off. One bag, again another one of mine, had two balls of Knit Picks Felici in the rainbow colourway, and I actually have a finished pair of socks already. It was my first finished object of 2021. Cast on the 1st of January, finished on the 6th, which that's alright for me. But I'm now working on the second pair, which are going to be for my mum. First pair, top secret, not telling you who they're for because I don't know if she watches. Oh, my asthma has not been my friend recently, and I have talked far too much. So here is the second pair. So on the first pair, I done contrasting heels, toes and cuffs in a grey. I didn't have much of the grey left, and I'm now using leftover black, which I think is going to make this look really, really good. So unlike the first pair, I'm now doing these on a 2.5mm, and I've gone up to 68 stitches. My mum, it fits her better. She can wear the 2.25 64, but it's just a bit snug. So we decided that it would be best to not only go up a needle size, but to also go up a sock size. So 68 stitches on a 2.5, which is how I might need to make, because I was on the phone to my best friend yesterday who I'd made a pair of socks for before, and I'd asked, is there anything you would want me to change for the next pair? Like the fit, the length of the leg, anything at all. Like, was the toe okay? Was it comfortable on your toe? And she said that the length was perfect, but because she is pregnant, it did get a wee bit snug. So I'm going to make a couple of pairs in a 68 stitch count. I don't know whether to go up to a 2.5 as well, or just do it on a 68. But I know when she had Lucy, her feet got quite wide, they got a bit puffy. So maybe it's best just to go up to a 2.5. Let me know your thoughts below, especially if you have had a child or knitted socks for someone that was pregnant, because I'm not sure whether going up a size is enough, or should I go up a size and a needle size? Let me know your thoughts. So this is the second ball of Knit Picks Felici in the rainbow colourway, and I'm using leftover drops Fable for the black. So I managed to get 2 projects out of this one bag. So really I'm 22 projects this year. 22 planned projects. I have some other that are planned, I just don't have them bagged up yet. Oh, well, Oh no, I'm getting tangled. So here is my biggie. This is a bag by So-Can Joe, or Bags by Joe. I love this bag. I absolutely adore this bag. And in here is everything I need to continue making, so I have cast on, the Marled Magic Sweater by Stephen West. Here's my progress so far. It is not a lot. So this mesh section, as you see there's tons of holes, is section 1, and this seed stitch panel is going to be section 2. I was so highly motivated to cast this on, and then with all the changing of yarn, because you know, marling, not so motivated. I still want it. I love this seed stitch panel, but flipping between knit and purl every other stitch is tiring. So I will work on it. I will get progress, because I'm doing this as part of a knit along with my friend Amy, who really started this all off. Blaming you, Amy. In a good way. But yeah, it will look fantastic when it's done. I'm not sure if I'm going to marl every section with some other colours, because this just looks a bit muddy. But we will see. We'll see how it pans out. But the yarn I'm using is 2 skeins from Cooks and Crafts, which is the lovely clear. This one, I love this colour. This makes me think of Van Gogh in the Starry Night. So there's lots of blues and yellows. Tags not in the centre. A lot of these have tags in the centre, so I'm not pulling the tags out to tell you what they are just yet. I'll tell you at a later date. Then I've got this one. So these are both sparkle. These have both got stellina in them. This is a really gorgeous chartreuse colour, and there are pops of orange and red, a little bit of green, some very, very, very pale chartreuse, almost undyed. But yeah, it's such a gorgeous colour. A section is going to look fantastic in just this yarn. So I've got 2 from, I know I went over these in my podcast, but I'm just stick with me. The one I'm currently using is Sock Una Troca, which Eva brought me back from Barcelona. I've got a bit of a mess going on underneath the cake. I don't quite know what's going on here, and I don't really want to pull at it, so I think once I'm finished this section, I'm going to recake this yarn. I've got Diana of Lovebug Yarn. This is her take on the If I Want Exposure I'll Get My Tits Out yarn. Again, the actual name is in the centre of the ball and I'm not pulling out. And then I have 3 cakes from Queen of Pearl. Oh, they just look so good together. Like, so good. Although maybe I'd change the colour order to that. I'm not going to say my rant that I said in the last one, but if anyone's curious, go check out my last podcast. But yeah, I think this is going to look fantastic when it's done. I just need to find the motivation to work on it. I'm glad I've got such a big bag as well, because there is so many cakes of yarn here. And with that, poppets, that is everything I have backed up. I have right there, technically, because if we're just counting what's in the bags, there is 21 projects. With the finished pair of socks, 22. I also want to make a flax light or a flax baby sweater. I want to make, oh, Pip just told me the name of the sweater. Oh, gosh. I had it printed off too. Where is it? These are some of the projects I wanted to do but couldn't quite find the yarn for. No, I have the yarn for that one. Why is it not in this pile? Well, that doesn't make sense. I can't remember what it is, but it was a baby cardigan that just literally goes straight down here. You can get it in 3 different sizes. You can get it in brand new newborn size, you can get it in baby to whatever age, and then you can get it for the mum. And it's to basically help the fact that babies burp up a lot, they sick up a lot, and this would save you continuously changing the top layer because the cardigan goes right down. It doesn't come forward, it doesn't cover the chest, it literally comes straight down. So I do want to make some baby things. I might even make a baby blanket because I've got the yarn for that. So there are things I don't have bagged up. So we'll see. I also do not intend to make every single one of these items in 2021. It's just fitting that there's 21 bags in 2021. But I am in no way putting pressure on myself to get all of this done. That's not what this was about. If this takes me up until 2023, then so be it. But this is in no way something I'm going to rush through just to get it done and say I've done all of this in 2021. That's not the point of this at all. But I wanted to share this with you guys because a lot of you have said it's such a good idea, that it's something you would be wanting to do because you also feel particularly overwhelmed when it comes to your next cast on. So I hope that you have found this remotely interesting or helpful. I also hope it's been helpful. Anything you want to say about it, if you've got any thoughts or if you are thinking of doing the same thing, please let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I'm now going to go record a video for the winners for some of the make-alongs for last year. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and stay safe. Just stay safe. And I will catch up with you soon.